it look good. Make it look good.
All right, we're making it look good. We're making it look good. You know, the best radio podcast show from Como to the Congo, and now you know. Loved by many, hated by few, respected by all, second to none. I'll do that again. Loved by many, hated by few, respected by all, second to none. Ain't nobody bad like me. Ain't nobody bad like me. But, you know, it's hot out there. It's really hot out there. But it just got really cold in Bedford, Texas, man. It got cold in Bedford, Texas. So I'm right here with my good friend, Arthur Fleming. Arthur Fleming, the leader of the Dallas Civil Rights NAACP. We do a dual platform, if you will. I post things on his page. I want you guys to go ahead and follow his Facebook page as well. Post it and repost it and reshare it, because we have some common ground and we have some common enemies. And these common enemies don't want us to tell our story. So that being said, we're here today to tell two stories, maybe three, but we ain't lying. But this is the whole deal that we're here to talk about. A tribute to Lee Alcorn, also a tribute to the NAACP, and also some of the common ground that we are walking on to make it better. Arthur, what's going on, man?
How's everybody doing? Thank you for inviting me to your show, Brother Gray. You know, I've known you for a few years now, and I've known you you're a man of integrity, and I sure appreciate your work.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. You know, I've respected you a long time. When you were the president of the Dallas NAACP, and even before that as an Alpha brother as well. So I've respected you in the work that you've done, and the work that you are doing now. So we text each other quite frequently. I can't say we do it every day, but we do it enough. Yeah. And then we also engage in conversation. We engage in several conversations, sometimes 2-3 times a day and everything. But we got a lot going on, man. A lot going on. We lost a warrior this past week with Lee Alcorn. Could you tell us of your connection with Lee?
Well, of course, I joined the Dallas NAACP in 1983, but Lee became our president in the 1990s. Now, during my first 10 years, you know, I wanted somebody that would fight for us. I wanted a president like that. Lee, they started the Grand Prairie chapter, and so he was quite active over there. And so he led a picket against the South Grand Prairie high school's Confederate symbols. And so I came from Dallas because that's what I wanted to do, and I participated in that. That was my first picket or fight against the Confederate symbols, and so Lee led that fight. And it was interesting to find out that as I posted pictures on Facebook, Angela Lucky took note that was her standing behind me. so Angela and I was at the picket, and so I was.
Is that right?
Yeah, you have to look at the picture real close. She blew it up now. So
I'm gonna have to move that. I'm gonna have to look at the picture again. I saw you in it. I saw a young Arthur Fleming, man. I said, man, yeah. Man.
And then there was a young Angela Lucky right behind us.
So y'all been raising all kind of hell and trouble for a long time.
Well, you know, well, you know what? The universe do it like that. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying, I didn't know that she had my back all that time, but I always knew that, when she became president, she too wanted to be active and wanted to do things, in more of an activist way. And so that's what attracted me to her. And so I got her back.
Okay. How many presidents of the NAACP in Grand Prairie have there been?
I'd say, I don't know much about the history of Grand Prairie, but I think they've had probably, three or four, something like that.
Okay, then I known all of them then. That'd be Lee Alcorn, Angela Lucky, Ollie Daly then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you know them all. Then.
Okay then. Ollie Daly is a relative of mine. Found that out going back to Arkansas, where everyone's related to someone some kind of way. Yeah. And his family, 100 years back, married into my family 100 years back. And
well, we're all related.
All kind of ways.
We're all related. I did my DNA, so I got 22,000 people. So we are related. Everybody's pretty much related.
We are one.
We are one. Us for us.
Us for us. So you are a veteran as well as Lee's a veteran too, right?
Yeah, Lee, of course, like I say, I'm an Air Force veteran of Vietnam. Now, Lee's 15 years my senior. Well, he's about 14 years my senior. So, looking back on our relationship, and I learned a lot from Lee. Looking back on it, a lot of our issues. No, we agreed 90% on issues, but I think the rest of it was basically generational. Even though he was an activist and so forth and so on, we just agreed. We just agreed on some fundamental things. But the good news is, we hugged it out. Matter of fact, I saw him about a month, I guess about a month and a half ago when he was coming out of the hospital. I was going to VA. I ran into him in the hallway and got a chance to talk with him and, holler at his wife. And so, so we good. I learned a lot from the brother. And we need to hold up his work because, again, as you can see, Angela, myself, and other people have been inspired by his activism.
Yeah, yeah. I saw Lee at lunch, Darren Reagan. And we're on that same thread too, Darren Reagan.
Mm-hmm.
Darren Reagan and I had talked a bit, and I saw Lee at Luby's. So, we talked a little bit, and I did not know that would be the last time I'd see him. But I'm glad I had that opportunity to see him because this brings, I wouldn't say closure, but it brings hope to me that we are still here to carry on things that he did.
And I think it's also important that we uplift the work he did for our community because at this time, as you know, our community has been under attack, still under attack. And so, our heroes will be attacked. And so nobody's perfect. And so the bottom line of it is we're going to represent his work as our work. And so that's how we're going to do it.
Yeah. The work, it's a lot of work out there, man.
I tell people all the time, when they say that they want to, whatever they want, I say, look, just pick one thing in life that you think needs to be solved. Dedicate your life to it. And should you finish, come to me and I got something else for you to do.
Has anyone came up with something they did?
I haven't heard.
Finished?
I haven't heard from nobody.
Okay.
I haven't heard from anyone back. I haven't heard from them back yet. So maybe they're still working on it.
So why did you decide to join the NAACP?
Well, as a Vietnam veteran, we were very conscious about what was going on in what we call the world. And so during that time, of course, COINTELPRO was going on. And so when I got out, my position was, again, when I came back, they said, take your uniform off because they might spit on you. So anyway, so I had to do that. And so when I got back, matter of fact, let me say this. Two sisters saw me pull off my uniform at the airport, her and her mother. And they stayed there with me for 2 hours till my plane came. And that saved my psyche, I'm telling you, because I was kind of weirded out. So anyway, so when I got back, my thing was, well, if I can fight for America in a foreign land, surely I can fight for my people. So my thing then was to try to find an organization that I could work with, use my gifts through. So, I looked at the Panthers, I looked at the Urban League, I looked at a lot of different organizations. I said, well, okay, the NAACP, they more aligned with what I wanted to do. Now, of course, what I didn't know was, and I'm still doing the research, but what I've just found out was that the NAACP didn't have their first black president until 1975.
What?
And so I thought, I'm going, and so now that I know that, I'm having to re-examine, what my work looks like. My work's still good, but I'm gonna have to do further research and see, what was that about. We had our first black executive director in 1955. I think Roy Wilkinson was the first. I think it was the first president and that. So, but anyway, hey guys, we got a lot of work to do. But irregardless of what the NAACP is doing, we're still going to do this work, which is why I started my organization, BlackBlockVote.net. And we're a strategist.
And that's the shirt you have on.
Yeah, shirt I have on, BlackBlockVote.net. And basically what we're about delineating or developing our African American black bloc vote power independent of the Democratic and Republican Party with our agenda attached where we can aim at both of them. Tallarico is going around saying, he said it again. He said, black folks, you all are swing voters. You can swing for the Democratic Party or swing for the couch. And see, I think it's kind of, I think it's kind of disrespectful, and I think he needs to quit saying that. And I want black folks to know, I'm not telling you to leave the Democratic Party. I'm saying, think swing voter. Malcolm said, stop singing and start swinging. So we need to swing that vote. We need to take it out of the Democratic Party, the mindset. Again, stay in the Democratic Party, but vote, swing, vote. Just an example, okay? What happened to Jasmine happened to Jasmine. But guess what? Guess who gets to pick the winners? We do, okay? So know that we can pick the winners in any election, almost in any state. And so that's the power that we have to educate ourselves into.
Okay, what happened to Jasmine?
Well, basically, again, the backbone of the Democratic Party, black women, backbone's always in the back. They dropped the backbone off the bridge again. Susan B. Anthony, Kamala. I mean, look, they see, look, the Democratic Party, they got this thing. They got this divide and conquer thing. They do. They hype black women, but they don't give them any power. And then they separate them from the black man. When reality is, sisters, you have no power without the brothers being with you. We are a black bloc vote, so you need to become the backbone of the black bloc vote. So that's what I'm working toward to get to. Get us to understand that our power is together. Don't let them do that. Don't let them do that black man, black woman thing with us, because it depowers and it takes our vote strength away.
Now, how's that working out for you?
Well, I rolled out my website back in March, and so we're doing some upgrades on it. And so we're going to be coming out with positions on issues. We will be campaigning issues. We're going to campaign issues year round, and we're going to educate year round. And so we're going to have some, hopefully, have some interesting learning tools on the site that people can go and learn different things. But basically, we're not powerless. Don't let the politician tell you because what the Supreme Court did, we have no power. We are swing voters. We can change the definition of what swing voter is just by becoming swing voters. So that's where our power is, and we need to focus on that.
Now, you have your Facebook website, Facebook page, Dallas Civil Rights.
Right.
That one is one of the most popular sites out there. Of course, also the Commish Radio political page. Join it, please, as well. And join it. And by the way, I would like to congratulate you on that. You've done that. Yours eclipsed the Dallas NAACP's Facebook page.
Well, I had to take. Well, as a matter of fact, the Dallas NAACP had me. I had the NAACP page. They made me take that off, which was okay with me. But it's not about competing or eclipsing. I'm trying. We want to educate people, irregardless of of what the situation is. It's all about educating the folks, and so I think a lot of times because we live in a capitalist system, we tend to want to compete in everything.
That's true.
And I think that we need to again, remove some of that mindset and just say, hey, look, what's best for the community? What can I do that's best for the community, right? Long term, what's best for my family, right? So, and I'm telling folks that if you don't want to march, you want to do anything, okay, that's fine. All you got to do is just take care of your family. Make sure your family is educated. Make sure your family is healthy. If you just do that, if you just train your kids how to go to school and, act right, if you just do that, trust me, you've done a lot.
You've done a lot as well. East Texas, that's where you went to school in?
East Texas State. When I got the military, first I went to Mountain View Gospel Choir. I went to Mountain View College, where we started the Mountain View Gospel Choir. But I wasn't interested in being a professional singer, nothing like that. So I got me a job at UPS. That's the only job. That's the only job I ever quit twice.
Okay.
I quit it once. The man called me back because I was so good at it, I guess. He called me back. I went back to work again. I quit again. And he said, hey, look, if you come back, we'll let you be a sorter. I said, man, I'm finna go to East Texas State. So I said, I'm not going, so anyway, so I went to East Texas State, which is the, matter of fact, I've only been to jail one time in my life, and that was in Commerce, Texas. And that was because we were having a party, and they decided they shut it down, and so all the law enforcement they came and shut us down, took me and about 3 other my frat brothers to jail. Irie Moe, bless his heart, he came and got us out. And, so that's the only time I've ever went to jail. So I'd like to say I went to jail for the right to party.
Oh, I like the way you did that. I like the way you did that.
Yep.
East Texas State, came back here, did a lot in the community as well, and we've done a lot. I was down in Waxahachie the other day, and I was at the Ellis County Hall of Fame Museum and Library. You can't put all that on one deal. Ellis County Museum Hall of Fame and Library. You're in the
Yes.
Hall of Fame, man.
Yeah, and I appreciate Brother Jamal
Rashid.
Yeah, for doing that. Because I'm from Ellis County, born in Ennis, Texas, so sharecropper farm, and so and so to be recognized, in your county by your people, that's always special to have somebody recognize your work, and they let me say a few words that day, and I sure appreciate it.
You said a few words.
Yeah. Well, let me say a few. Jesus is back. Jesus is back. He is black. We are the people of the book. We can't vote our way out of white supremacy. We can't vote our way out of white supremacy.
You got that one just lined out, just like I got loved by many, hated by few, respected by all, second to none.
Hey.
You got your deal, I got mine.
Hey,
Richard Pryor would say, "If you respect my stuff, I respect yours." So
Yeah.
So congratulations on the Hall of Fame, man. I saw your picture up there. I said.
Yeah, well, and again, it was a great honor, and my family and everybody, like I said, they appreciated it, and again, whenever you get an honor like that, that's for your family. That's representing, my grandpa and grandma now, always told us, hey, don't worry about what everybody else is doing. You just do the right thing, and so I try to live by that.
Yep. Now, you and I have worked in Ellis County as well. We went down there protesting. Tell them about the protest we had, and another Hall of Famer that was down there too.
Yeah, that was. I tell you, you mean the Negro in the basement?
Yeah.
I think the Negro's still in the basement.
Yeah.
Negro's
Always the Negro in the basement.
Negro's in the basement. But they have this Negro in the. They have this back in the day, from my understanding, in the county courthouse at the bottom. They had this Negro, what they did to black folks, and so they got a mural back there painted back, in the bottom of the basement back there, and so this brother ran for office there, and so instead of them giving him a constable office, they gave him an office in the basement where the Negro in the basement mural was. So that's how we come to understand about it being down there. So there's a lot of protests, so on and so on. One of the commissioners told one of our friends to do something to it or whatever, and then there was a big thing about that. But anyway, to make a long story short, if I'm not mistaken, the Negro is still in the basement.
And that was Ernest Walker, myself, and that's on my YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube. You'll see the historical reference of that.
Yeah.
A lot of things that I have on this show, you can look it up on the YouTube, and also look at the other content we have with Ed Gray, political page, Ed Gray Black History page on Facebook, Instagram, Ed Gray again, Ed Gray 1906. Vote the name you know. I don't know who to vote for. Ed Gray, that sounds like a good name. I can vote for him. So that being in Grand Prairie, I can vote for him. So since I tagged Grand Prairie, I have to go ahead and say that. So that being said, we got to come back and do some things in Ellis County. Brian Harrison is running for office re-election down there. He's the one who charged up the sister so bad when he was in the representative state house that the governor said you shouldn't have did that. That's pretty bad when Governor Abbott said you shouldn't have did that.
Well, again, if anybody knows anything about my home county, Ellis County, now I'm president of the EMCC, Intermunicipal Community Center park. It's a black-owned park that was dedicated by black people to black people back in 1931. But anyway, I'm president of that.
Where's that at?
It's down in Ennis, and so
Have to go there next.
Yeah, and if anybody know anything about Ennis politics, county politics, well, actually, I hate to say it, but it's just the truth. They've been wrong for a long time, and a lot of weird stuff that happened there. People officials that got killed and stuff like that over the years. So it's a lot of corruption.
It is
in Ellis County, and it has never been, quote, cleaned up.
And one of the county commissioners, adding to that point, one of the Ellis County commissioners was arrested twice recently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so it's
for stealing.
That's what they do.
It wasn't embezzlement where you just write something and you get no, just like take this and put it in my pocket and go home stuff.
Back in the day, I'm talking about the 70s, the dope game that it was like a regular pattern. You could actually see it if you're from there. You could actually see it. They would let these people sell dope for 3, 4, 5 years. Then they round up a group of them, send them to the pen. Then they let another group come in and sell. Then round them up, and and you could actually see it. And I'm going, wow. Am I the only one seeing this, or and the people that was involved in? I couldn't understand why they would continue to, go with that system. But I'm telling you, it's corrupt. That's all I got to say. And I'm not just saying this now. I've told them they were corrupt. So I'm not saying that I haven't said it to them.
Looks like we'll be working with each other doing that, because one of the things as president of the Dallas County Justice Initiative, we were talking about putting historical markers of lynchings out, but beyond that, what are you going to do after you do that? You have to do something in the now. That's in the past, but what are you going to do with the now?
Right
Mass
now.
Incarceration. That's one of the things that we are addressing as well. That's the reason why I have you on the show as well. So we have that coming up.
And speaking of mass incarceration, folks need to understand, how this came down. After the civil rights movement in '60s, after we, quote, integrated, we began to progress like we always do, and we were doing it at such a alarming rate that when Reagan got in office, he started to do things like like that drug program they was running down in down in South America, so forth and so on. Okay, they were using that. Okay, they were using that money and the CIA to put crack cocaine in our community. Look, the war on drugs was a planned program by the CIA. They admitted it. The Deffenbaugh, he admitted it. And so, and after they did put the crack in our neighborhood, called it a war on drugs, then they created the penitentiary industrial complex, the penitentiary. Then they started doing by the third grade, So they started taking out vocational education out of schools. They started, cursory right, took a lot of stuff out to try to make people, dumb or look dumb and desperate. And so basically, that's why we had the Million Man March. I'm a Million Man March brother. That's why we had the Million Man March, because they were killing brothers at such an alarming rate till it was ridiculous. And so, again, still we rise. And so then we got Barack Obama for president. Again, but these other programs still haven't stopped, because when they had the opioid epidemic, what they did the complete opposite. Instead of locking everybody up and saying ain't nothing we can do about it, they started saying, well, we need to get them treatment. And so, and that hooks into the pharmaceutical system that we have now. And I tell them about this. The pharmaceutical companies, they are drug dealers. They turn our doctors into street dealers. You go to the doctor now, you need to control your body, because he wants to put something in your body. And then because I was a home health care person, so here's how I go. They give you a medicine for one thing, then you have a side effect, then they give you something for the side effect, then something for the side. Next thing you know, you got a bag full of medicine.
That's true.
And it's about selling your medicine. And again, all this medicine is based on white DNA. It's based on white people. It's not based on me. So a lot of the stuff that we get, it's actually poison for us. And so again, that's one of my complaints with the NAACP. Racism in healthcare is a real thing, and I don't see them addressing it.
You last attended the NAACP convention. How did it go?
Well, let me just say this: I'm still digesting it. I see a definite shift in the organization's direction. I've sent them 11 questions that I like them to answer, and so once I get those answers, I'll know more about what I'm looking at.
Did you give them a timeline on it?
Well, I'm going to be sending it out next week to to President Derrick Johnson. I've sent it to the Vice Chair, Ms. Towns, but I'll be sending it to him next week, and then I'll request an answer within 2 weeks and see what they say. Now, some folks say, well, they're not going to answer you. I said, well, their non-answer will be an answer. So I'm going to ask a question because I need to know, in the context of what I know now about the history of my organization. I want to know, who we for, because from that last convention I saw, we for everybody, and we for everybody, that means we ain't for nobody. And so I need to know, who's for us, and so we know how to move afterwards after we find out. Okay, who you for? I mean, what are you gonna do for us? Because they added some language to the preamble, which basically says NAACP is for blacks and people of color. So you kind of tagged us, you kind of, tethered us to the people of color tag, and which is the same thing the Democratic Party did, right? Democratic Party threw us in the POC bag with everybody else, and it's the same thing the NAACP is doing. So, and I'm hoping that the National would at some point move away. I think we're too close to the Democratic Party. I think we should be more of an independent organization. Now, I know you say, well, when you're talking about money, yeah, I know, but we should philosophically be an independent organization. And I think we're going to have to, revisit some things, like Mr. Springarn, right, the Springarn Award. Well, Mr. Springarn was an informant for the FBI. So we give out an award for a guy that was an informant for the FBI. And so I'm just saying that, it's things like that that I think that, we need to have an honest discussion with our leadership about.
Okay. Swinging it back to Lee Alcorn again, and we're going to close out with that.
Okay.
What do you feel would be his lasting legacy? What do you feel would be his lasting legacy?
Well, from now I saw Angela in that picture with me. I think that's his legacy. I think we've continued to, fight the good fight as far as getting rid of the Confederate symbols. There's our current fight is, for some reason, the Texas Rangers decided they put a Texas Ranger statue of a guy who's clearly, anti-black, up at the stadium. And so now we did a Jackie Robinson Day press conference. We did some other stuff, did some New York Times stuff. They still haven't responded, so we're going to be visiting and revisit that issue again. I saw another article in the New York Times where they're saying, basically trying to bring the statues back out. The ones that we've gotten rid of, they're trying to figure out how to bring them back out. And so again, that's another one of my questions for the NAACP National. What's your position on that? We've gotten no support up to this point from them on that issue. And so we'll be asking them for support to see what they're going to do about that.
Was there any support for taking them down from the NAACP? I know locally here in Dallas there was none.
Again,
because I asked specifically the NAACP president at that time.
Yeah. Again,
and it wasn't no answer.
Yeah. Well, I hate to say it, but actually, when I was doing that particular, when I was doing those issues, I actually had some opposition from some of the folks in the NAACP, and so I'm just saying that. But again, but I kind of expected that. But I'm just saying that, but still, that's the playground we're on. And so basically, what we're going to do is continue to ask them to remove these symbols. Again, I'll see if they're going to support us on this, because the Texas Rangers, they're a National League baseball team. They support Jackie Robinson Day, and then you got black players and everything on your team. Then you're gonna put a statue like that up in the, and your only answer is, well, he's a Texas Ranger and we're Texas Rangers.
Makes sense.
Yeah, if you're okay, yeah, it makes sense.
I'm just saying, it makes sense. That's
Yeah,
what the deal.
if you're who you are, yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense if you're who you are. Yeah,
Texas Rangers.
you're Texas Ranger. So.
Maybe you need to change the name of Texas Rangers. You won't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Make it something like kangaroos, like they have in Weatherford, Texas.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Then you won't have to worry about it.
We can do it like that. But anyway, like I said, but we're going to be asking. But again, one of my complaints, one of the 11 was that the national office don't support activists.
That's what we talked about during the break.
Yeah, and so I found that to be true. I've never gotten any.
That's historically speaking. Now I'm gonna go with that because I'm all in that history. Then Medgar Evers.
And now
they didn't support Medgar Evers.
And I'll tell you who was in control of the NAACP. Remember doing that? Remember, we didn't get our first black president until 1975. So somebody else made those decisions. Now, for those that don't know, the reason we have two NAACPs, NAACP National, Inc., and NAACP Legal, is because at the end of the Civil Rights Movement, Thurgood Marshall, because they the one did all the work, them and Houston, all them cats, they did all the work. And so they said, well, hey, we the NAACP. And so the NAACP and they went to court. The court said, okay, well, since both y'all been using the name, we're going to let both y'all use the name. We want to be legal, we want to be Inc. So people need to know that there's two different NAACPs, okay? And the one that I work with is the one that was created by the Zionists back in 1909.
Okay. All right. We'll let that be your last word, as you just dropped that just like that. Huh?
Well, I mean, just what it is.
Okay. Well, thank you for listening to the Commish Radio Show, and we want you to come back again for part 2, because the way you just dropped that last one, I'm sure there's going to be some comments on that. But what we want you to do, since you're listening and you're looking at us through the DFW area, we want you to go ahead and give to the Commish Radio Show, because this is the way we put good quality information out there to you. You can Zelle us, you can Cash App us. Hey, do what you have to do, but we have to keep this message out. We also like to spend and send our prayers, send our prayers to the Almighty on the behalf of the Alcorn family, because with Lee Alcorn as president of the Grand Prairie NAACP and the Dallas NAACP, we've seen a lot of progress in the DFW area. So thank you for listening to the Commish Radio Show, and we will see you guys back next week. Rest in peace, Lee Alcorn.
Who was that masked man? You mean you don't know? That was no masked man. That was the Commish. Saturdays from 5 to 6 p.m. on the Fishbowl Radio Network. Hey, how you doing? This is Ed Gray of the Commish Radio Show. Stay tuned and tune in and be up to speed on everything in social justice, human rights, and politics on the Commish Radio Show, airing every Saturday, 5 p.m. on the Fishbowl Radio Network. Jump in.